Praise the Lord, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Leisha, the Preacha-OK. Nowadays, all over the internet, social media, you hear the phrase, I don't need a man. I don't need a man. You hear that phrase. You hear men, especially men, all over social media, mock women with that phrase. They mock women. Oh, let's see, how things work out for her now. Since she thinks she don't need a man. Since she thinks she don't need a man. You know what I mean? So I just want to bring some clarity to that. Some clarity. To me, when women say that, which I don't really hear any women say that. I don't hear too many women say, I don't need a man. As in like, you know, no man on this earth need to exist or be breathing. No woman means that from my experience. You know, I don't know a woman, I've yet to meet a woman who believe that men should not exist at all because we don't need men. I I don't even think that's the point at all. At all. That is so not the point. Based on my experience, whenever that phrase come up, I don't need a man, whether men say it or women say it. To me, what it means, because men don't want me, I'm good. Because men don't want me, I can accept it. I'm okay with it. I'm going to figure it out. And my question to men is, what woman in your life that you don't want to be that way? I mean, like, don't you want your mother to not depend on a man that don't want her? You know what I mean? How about your sister? Why do you want your sister to be with people that don't want her? Your daughter. Why would you want your daughter to pursue, serve, love, and cherish a man that don't want her? When men reject women, women are supposed to go on and live life anyway. Okay. Well, first of all, on many levels, it is impossible for women, girls, to live without men. It's impossible. Trust me, it's impossible. We are born with a father off the rip. That's a man. That is a man. We're born with a father. Whether he's in the home raising us or not, we still got one. Most women have a brother, a brother, cousins, boys, men in their life. Just because a woman is not in a relationship having sex with somebody does not mean she don't have men in her life. No one woman can afford to have just one man because of sex in her life. She need all the men she can have access to in her life. Fathers, brothers, cousins, neighbors, the guys at work. I mean, we need men everywhere. We have men everywhere. Sometimes we have men around us that we don't even want around us, but they're there. They're there. In a lot of cases, we can't get away from the men around us because they're our father, because they're our brothers and cousins and uncles. You know, I was a molested child from ages 6 to 11. There were three uncles, men boys around me for those 6 years touching on me. And there was nothing I could do. Back then, telling about molestation, most black families didn't do nothing about it. It was swept under the rug. So it's not that, you know, when a woman feels, believes, or says that I don't need a man, she's just talking about one little man with his little penis to have sex with. That's all she's talking about. No woman has to have that. No woman does. Going without one little man and his one penis, going without that does not stop a woman's breath in her body. It doesn't stop her ability to care for herself. And then men will laugh at a woman because she loses a job. Well, men lose jobs too. Is that funny? Is it funny when a man loses a job? Then why is it funny when a woman loses a job? There are men on food stamps. There are a lot of men on food stamps. So when they lose their food stamps, is that funny? But y'all like to mock women who lose their food stamps. I mean, like, make it make sense. It just don't make sense. So I stand as a 55-year-old woman that's considered, old, ugly, evil, and black. That's what I've been told. So a woman standing in that position, well, the world we live in, don't nobody want a old 55-year-old black ugly woman. Don't nobody want that. So with that being my reality, why would I want a man? Why would I need a man if that's how I'm going to be viewed and treated accordingly? Wouldn't it be in my best interest to accept that, okay, I'm no longer on the market? I'm not marketable. When it comes to dating, marriage, and things like that, I won't be taken serious. I won't be treated with respect. I get all that. So I don't need a man no more. Why would I if I'm going to get that treatment? And it don't even matter the reason. You know, some people will say it's not only because you old, ugly, evil, and black. No, it's not only that. It's because you got a nasty personality too. Okay, well, throw that on there too. It don't matter how piled up the reasons are. At the end of the day, why would I go around chasing men? Why would I go around desiring them? Why would I even want to? It don't make no sense to. So there are women who are teenagers, women that are in their 20s and 30s who experience every day, they experience rejection from men. So they just learn to accept it. Okay. Whether you're a teenager in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, it don't matter the age really. If you're the kind of woman that men don't typically, you know, pursue, then you have to focus on you. You have to learn not to need them, learn not to want them, accept the rejection. So I don't know why men twist I don't need a man, that phrase, into something that it's not. It's really not what they're selling, what they're marketing. It just doesn't mean that. Now, to some people, can it mean that? I guess so. There's always, exceptions. But I believe that a lot of these men on social media, are taking an exception and blowing it up. And it just does not stick to a woman because it's not relatable to most of us. Most women that says, well, I don't need a man. It's because men reject them. Men make it known that they don't want them outside of just some easy sex, a quick hookup. Well, I choose not to live that way. I don't want to be ran through like that. I don't want STDs and STIs and I don't want all that stuff because I'm just being ran through because I'm not desired anymore. I'd rather just accept the rejection. I have no problem with being rejected by men. None. I just don't. And a lot of women don't either. Now, is it, disappointing sometimes? I guess so. I haven't reached that point yet. I'm only 2 years into this. 2 years of accepting rejection and moving on. I have men in my life. I don't have any dads, brothers, cousins, or nothing like that. But I do have son-in-laws. I do have 7 grandsons. I have neighbors, and I have men in my life. But do I have one little man with one little penis to focus on forever? No. And quite frankly, I spent 50 years being touched by men. 50 years of my life was male centered. From age 5, being juggled between 3 different uncles for 6 years until I started dating. Once I started dating, it was on and popping. You know what I mean? And I was legally married for 32 years to men. Raised 8 kids, lived the best life I could with men who didn't really want me. Both men cheated on me the whole marriage. I was never the only one from day one with either husband. Neither husband allowed me to be their only one ever. So I don't even know what it's like to be. No man has ever been faithful to me, even with 32 years of marriage. No man has ever been faithful to me. No man has ever really valued me. But, I was with them anyway because that's what I was taught to do, you know. And now I'm learning to accept the rejection and stop suffering and torturing myself being with someone who could care less, who can walk away and marry somebody else like it's easy. Why keep doing that to myself? Why need a man? Why need a man if that's the best treatment out there for me? For me. And a lot of women, a lot of women. So that's my take on the whole I don't need a man, you know, phrase. I think it's used completely wrong, And I know that the men that use this exception, the way they, hammer it, I know they know what they're doing. Of course, they know what they're doing. Of course, you know. But as a woman, I just wanted to explain when I say I don't need a man, it's because I've been worn out by him already. I've been worn out, the wheels done fell off, and it's just time for me to retire anyway. It's just time. From ages, what, 50, from ages 5, through my, 50, I'm 55 now, I'm 2 years off. So, that's a long time. A long time being touched by men, used for whatever they felt like I was needed for. So I don't need them anymore. I don't. I have son-in-laws, I have grandsons, I have neighbors, I have people, enough men where I don't have to, focus on just one that's in my bed that don't even want to be there. Can't wait to get to the next woman. I can't live like that no more. I suffered through that all them years. Decades. I suffered through that for decades. Just being the one at home, laying in the bed, cooking, cleaning, raising kids. And he can't wait to run out the door to be with whoever else. Can't wait. I suffered through that, guys. And I just accept that, when it comes to men, I and a lot of women around me, we just don't have that value. We don't hold the value, you know, and that's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with not needing one man in my bed. I'm okay with that. The only thing I'm missing, based on my experience, the only thing I'm missing by not having a man in my bed It's just sex. That's it. I wasn't offered much more. Even with 32 years of marriage, with them leaving to marry other people, I wasn't left with much. So the only thing they was really offering was just sex to keep me from, just running around with everybody, I guess. I don't know. But outside of, you know, not having a man in my bed, um, I mean, if I need my grass cut, it get done. If I have a problem in my home, I get it fixed. I mean, like, men are still available on the earth to service, you know, things like that. So just because one man is not laying in my bed, don't mean that all the other men on the earth are not available to me. All the other men are available for their services to me. If I pay them, you know, and people may say, well, see, that's the difference. See, now you got to pay for everything. Well, I mean, I was laying on my back. That's payment. Every time I let a husband crawl on top of me, you know, or I crawl on him or whatever, because I'm a gymnast and, you know, I'm still pretty limber and, I can do a lot of stuff. So, whenever I crawl on a man or he crawl on me or whatever, that was payment. That's payment. You have access to my body whenever you want. What more can a man want from a woman? If she's already cooking, cleaning, and raising the kids and making sure all the bills is paid on time and, keeping your credit up, keeping her credit up, making sure everybody, is, getting education lifelong. I made sure my ex had a PhD. I got a PhD. You know, I was pretty much a stay at home wife and mom, but I believe in education so much too. I wanted to make sure that we were maximizing life, had rental properties and, investments and, you know, but, a woman can do all of that. Make sure a man's money is straight, make sure he got a home, have investment properties, raise his kids and, go to church, all that. A woman can do all of that and a man will still walk away. He will still leave you for somebody else. Like it's easy. So I've learned to, instead of keeping one man with his one penis in my bed, hoping for something that'll never happen, just let him go. Let him go. Keep my bed empty of men. And then just, you know, enjoy everybody else. Enjoy everybody else, you know. Be a blessing to all the other men. Not sexually, but if a man know how to mow a lawn, here, but if I pay my grandson. I have a 11-year-old grandson. He'll be 12 this year. He did an excellent job last year, keeping my lawn together, and I paid him well. And I want him to have his own lawn business. Why not? Until he can figure out another business of his own, you know. Grandma is teaching him to, you know, earn money doing lawns, you know. My one grandson, Caden, used to do it. I used to pay him to do my lawn, but then he became legal working age. So now I take him back and forth to work. When he get out of school, I'm taking him to work, drop him off, pick him up, teaching him that your paycheck is yours, baby, and you control it. Don't let nobody else control your check. Uncle Sam does enough, you know. So he'll be 16. He'll be 16. So he's been going at this for almost 2 years working, and I've been running him back and forth. And then the next one under him, he's old enough to start doing lawn and, stuff around the house and earn money, you know. And so, like I said, I got 7 of those grandsons. So I ain't got time for no man to be in my bed treating me like I'm a dog. Mm-mm. Nope. And you'll say, and people may say, it's sad that you spent your whole life being treated like a dog by men. Well, it happened. I endured. I got through it, you know. Um, I got through my childhood being molested. I got through, just regular dating and marriage of 32 years, just not being treated very well, for whatever reason, whether it's their fault, my fault, whatever, a combination, whatever, you know. At the end of the day, all my exes are doing great. They're doing great. So I couldn't have been that bad. You know what I mean? If they left me and able to go on to the next woman like it's easy, then how bad could I have been? You know? And I was married 32 years, and I don't recall neither husband raising their voices to me, and I didn't raise my voice to them. So I didn't have no cussing, fussing, arguing, marriage, nothing like that. I was a pretty easygoing woman. So, but when a man is done with me, I let him go. Go ahead. I make it easy for them. Why put up a fight? I don't want to beg to be mistreated. I'm not. I'm not going to be begged to be mistreated. No. But as long as we're together and in agreement, you know, I'm going to be at my best. Why not? I agree to be here, so be at my best. So, but when a man don't want me, I let him go. Whatever woman thinks she's stealing him, baby, I'm helping you. It's not that much of a steal if I'm, you know, making it easy for you. Because once he don't want me, I'm good with it. I don't have a problem with rejection. I don't. Now, with that being said, not have a problem with rejection. Now, um, I do use the fact that this last marriage, left me the way he did. Now, I use that as an example and speak on that all the time, you know, and because I was his stay at home wife. And when he left me, I didn't have a career to fall back on. I have degrees, but if you don't have a lot of work experience attached to your degrees, you only go so far. You only go so far. And I'm 55. I'm 55 years old, and I'd rather learn how to, live within my alimony and call it a day. You know what I mean? So, I don't depend on the system. I don't have food stamps or Medicaid or none of that. I have to pay for my, medical insurance out of my alimony, pay all my bills, and, take care of my grandkids and stuff. I have a family. I have 2 kids, 8 grandkids. I have 7 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. So I have people to be responsible for, take care of. Whether a man is in my bed or not, that's my responsibility. My kids and grandkids are mine. They're my responsibility. So, and that has nothing to do with men being in my bed or not, you know. So when I say, Dr. Alicia the preacher, when she say, I don't need a man, no, I don't need one man laying in my bed. No, I don't. Because I have so many other men in other ways. In so many other ways. And sex is just not that important to me. It's just not. But if I'm going to have it, I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it well. So even though back in 2011, my ex made it very clear he ain't want me no more and probably should have divorced me a long time ago, it still took him 10 years to leave. 10 years for him to leave me. The sex was that good. It was that good. I mean, he didn't have a problem with it. I mean, we opened up the marriage. I mean, you don't want me? Okay, well, no problem. We opened up the marriage. And the sex was good enough where he shared. Hell, he didn't care. As long as he was getting his cut, his piece, you know? But, I wasn't that sexual, no way. Even though the marriage was open, I wasn't just out there buck wild giving it up to whoever catch it. Nah, I've never been that woman and won't ever be. And over the past 2 years, again, I prayed and asked God to take that desire away. that desire to, even yeah, the desire to even like need or want a man just physically next to me, just for the heat, the physical heat of it. You know what I mean? I prayed it away because it doesn't serve me anymore. It doesn't serve me. It's very clear that I'm past that point. You know, Men my age in their 50s, they're, I mean, they got 19-year-olds sucking their dick. 19-year-olds. So I rather tap out. I rather tap out than to be worried about a 19-year-old pulling up on me and her, homies. And I've had that happen. My ex had a sugar baby. And when he and his sugar baby let her friends move in one of our homes, because, we put the sugar baby up in her own house. So when the sugar baby had her own house and stuff, the two of them decided to let one of her friends move in. And then her friend, these are like little young 20-year-olds, like early 20-year-olds and stuff. So she moved one of her drug dealer boyfriends in. And I was like, oh, hell no. It's enough that the sugar baby there, her mama, her kids, now we putting up her girlfriends and drug dealer boyfriends and shit. I said no. I went over to their house, moved in, slept on the couch until the house cleared out. Now I ain't gonna let no drug dealer take over my house. Because you want a 20-year-old, we gonna have to do hell to the no. So I went over there and got kicked all drug dealers and baby mamas and everybody out the damn house. Because it got ridiculous, you know? If a man feel like he gotta have his other women, cool. But why does the other women gotta go that far? Move the whole neighborhood in the house. Taking over a house. Ain't nobody paying bills but my husband. My husband paying all the bills. And all these motherfuckers is over here living for free, living their best life. Mm-mm. No, I'd rather keep my bed empty than to have to deal with stuff like that. I don't want to deal with the sugar babies, and having to fight them to keep my properties from being, taken over by drug dealers. Because my husband, you know, don't want to be faithful. What? It's so funny when the sugar baby and you are standing in a house you own. And she's like, we both can't be here. And I'm like, well, I own it. So what do you need to do? Do what you need to do. I own it. Do what you need to do, ma'am. With your little 20-year-old self. You getting diaper money, getting cashed out to you. Baby, I own this. She didn't know what to do with me. She thought that I would physically fight her. If, she thought I would be crying, upset, and all that. Girl was like, honey, you just helping me get to my bag faster. I already earned my 50%. You ain't doing nothing to hurt me. I was your age before. I lived better than you at your age. I lived better. I was married. I was married at her age, buying homes. While she trying to mess with somebody's husband. Girl, I was married and buying homes. You know what I mean? So don't no other woman intimidate me. Actually, I like women. I date women. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm bi. I like men and women. So men don't intimidate me and women don't intimidate me either. And I was turned out at age 5. So sex, is sex. Now, to me, sex is marriage, to me. But for the sake of this conversation, sex is just sex. So yeah, when I say I don't need a man, I mean I don't need the trouble that come with it. Having to deal with sugar babies and other women in the background, women at work, and now we swingers and swing with people at his job, and it just got buck wild. Sometimes being with a man can drag you through the mud, even if you legally married. You can be legally married. I was legally married 15, 16 years, and here we are out of the blue, living like being swingers and open marriage and all this stuff just because he didn't want me. He didn't want me no more. So now we out here living raggedy. But I took that raggediness and decided, well, let me start a YouTube channel and start talking about, poly, open marriage, polygamy, all the different poly relationships. You know, let me just start talking about it, talking about my experience related to the Bible. Related to the Bible. I read the Bible, has all kind of, multiple marriages and stuff in here. Everything I went through in my marriages, it's all in the Bible. People in the Bible went through it. So I said, well, let me get on social media and start talking about my experiences. There are, you know, it's a recognized lifestyles. They're recognized lifestyles. Let me put my PhD to use. I can't talk about nothing else with my PhD, but I can talk about, my experiences in life with my PhD. I can talk about being monogamous between two husbands. I was me personally, not them, but I was monogamous, faithful, just with them for 21 years. The first husband, I was only with him, never with anybody else. The second husband, for the first 16 years of our marriage, it was nobody else. I didn't even think about nobody else. The thought of anyone else didn't even pop in my mind. That's how sold I was on him, committed. But he let me know that he should have divorced me a long time ago and didn't want me no more. And so what am I supposed to do with that? Still be all loyal and faithful and kissing his ass? Hell no. Who would do that? And no man on this earth should expect a woman to do that. Don't expect your mother, sisters, or daughters to be that committed to a man where he can, make it very plain to you with his words and actions that he don't want you no more and should have left you a long time ago. Okay, girlfriend, lace up your boots, you know, and get to stepping. So I don't understand why any man would want to laugh at a woman for being dumped, losing a job, losing anything. Why is that funny? But they got their reasons, and I'll have to respect that. They're making money off of these videos and talking about this. And hey, a paycheck's a paycheck, I guess. But all I can do is just explain when I say I don't need a man anymore. All I can do is explain it. I refuse to limit myself to one man that makes me miserable. And I'd rather keep myself open to all the men in my family, all the men that want to help me. And they never need to crawl in my bed to help me. They never need to. They don't need to come in my house and steal my daughter's girlfriends. They don't need to do any of that. I'm done being mistreated. And then if I want to, stand up for myself, then I'm the problem because I'm not tolerating all this anymore. You're not going to come in my family and try to break us all up and still lovers and stuff. What? No, that's okay. We'll pass on that. you know, Even though I was molested by my uncles, they also taught me how to be tough. Because that was during the era of Bruce Lee was out, all those Bruce Lee movies. My uncles taught me how to fight. They used to bring little boys in the neighborhood and have me fight the boys in the neighborhood. I knew how to use karate sticks, you know. We used to make our own little karate sticks and stuff with a little chain and each bar on the end. I was doing karate as a little girl. I would jump off the roof. I was a gymnast. So anytime I could jump downstairs, jump off the roof, jump off the house, I was doing that stuff. Fighting little boys in the neighborhood, learning karate. My uncles taught me karate. you know? So I learned how to fight as a little girl. Um, my grandfather was a mechanic and my stepfather was a mechanic. So, I never had to work on cars with my own hands. But I learned how to, get around cars, you know, know when to get my oil changed, just know like, oh, the brakes, okay, you can tell that this is a brake issue. You can tell this is probably an axle or, you know what I mean? You know, the men in my life, whether they hurt me or not, they still taught me a lot of stuff. Even my husbands, I mean, they may have been cheating on me and being disrespectful or whatever in those regards, but I still used the good part too. People give you their good and their bad, both. People don't just give all bad. They have a good side too. We all have a good side to manage and a bad side to manage. And I can tell you what my bad sides was. I have all kind of videos on here talking about my bad. I I was a foolish wife. Foolish. I should have did things differently. But, you only do what you know to do at the time. If you don't know to do better at the time, then you can't do it. You're not going to perform something that's not there. I was very foolish. And I talk about it. And based on what I went through in the second marriage, I should have never left the first marriage. But then at the same time, if I was going to go through what I was going to go through anyway, no matter who I was married to, it was better that it not be the kid's real father. You know what I mean? Their biological father. I would hate to have gone through what my daughter's natural father with the stepfather put us through. So I am thankful for that because that's a horrible experience, or those are horrible memories to have to go through with your real daddy. The stepfather can go on with his life, which he did. He is not in our life anymore, thank God. He is not around, not a thought. We never see him, talk to him, none of that. And I'm so thankful. But real fathers is a little different. Stepfathers, let them step. Keep on stepping. He off in somebody else's life. So, yeah, you know. So, yeah, I know that men use the phrase, I don't need a man, in a mocking way. And they're really just addressing a very, very small group of women. And they're making money off of the comment. And hey, whatever works, works. So all I can do as a woman is just explain what I mean by it. It don't mean that I don't need no man on this earth at all. I wish I still had a dad alive. If I had a dad alive, I would love that. I wish I still had, well, I never had any brothers, but I wish I did have brothers. I wish I did have, good uncles, the ones that didn't molest me. I wish I still had them around. I wish I still, I wish I had more men in my life. But, I have to use the ones I got. My grandsons and my son-in-laws. They're good enough, and neighbors or whatever. A few good men. All I need is a few good men. And none of these men got to be in my bed. I don't need none of these jokers in my bed. No. Mm-mm. Anything I need done, I can get done with the men I got in my life. And I'm glad of that. So no man don't mean no man at all. It just means I don't need to be having sex. That's all that means. I don't care about having sex with no man. No, I don't. But as far as anything else in my life, something go wrong at the house or a car, whatever, I got men I can call. And sometimes when they're not available, another woman will help. I got daughters. My daughters, they raised to do stuff. They know how to drive. They know how to shovel snow and mow lawn. It's not that we don't know how to mow lawn, shovel snow, or do any of that stuff ourselves. It's not that we don't know how. I know I was raised to do a lot of stuff for myself. I've been working since I was 13 years old. My very first job was a pharmacy technician. I was a pharmacy technician from ages 13 until I graduated from college. So, when it comes to working, making money, and paying bills, I know how to do that with or without a man in my bed, you know? And just like a man, if he loses his job, well, then I have to go get another one. I mean, I don't see why that's so, why is that a laughing matter when a woman lose her job? Ha 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 ha. Now what you gonna do? I know you wish you had a man now. No, I wish I had another job now. Another man, having a man ain't got nothing to do with employment, and stuff like that. Now, if you have a baby with a man, that's something different. You got to come up with a contract, some type of agreement on how the child is going to get raised. Because when you got two career-driven parents trying to have kids, there has to be some type of compromise somewhere. Either the man is going to have to scale back to make sure the kids are raised, according to the standards, or the woman is going to have to scale back. It is very difficult for two people to have high paying, high powered jobs, demanding jobs, and have kids. So the people you agree to have kids with, you got to have some type of, um, you know, understanding, you know. And if the woman end up being the one scaling back, well, that's not something to mock about. That's not something to. And then if he leave her for another woman and then she don't have any money to feed her kids and all that, I mean, how's that funny? I just don't get it. I don't get it. And yeah, if she take the risk and cheat, and risk losing her husband, well, I guess that would be funny, I guess. I don't see that being funny either, but that would make more sense to laugh at than just in general laughing at women suffering for because they don't want to have sex with men. Huh? But, you know, what do I know? I'm just a woman, so an old unwanted one, so I'm not supposed to even be speaking. But okay, yeah. So, yeah, I believe when women use the phrase I don't need a man, they mean just one in their bed having sex with. They don't mean no man at all. They still appreciate having their fathers, brothers, cousins, uncles, you know, neighbors, male neighbors, men at work. Men are everywhere. Men are everywhere to help women, to provide their service, to make money off of us or whatever. You know what I mean? Women are not limited to a penis in their bed. When it comes to men, we're not limited to that. If we're smart, we'll avoid it at all costs and just use all other men. I think uh, more women are more satisfied when they have their dad working for them, their brothers. When I say working for, I'm not saying like employees. No, letting them be in their position, receiving the love that comes from those kind of positions. When you have friends and neighbors that are guys, that's a wonderful life. I don't have that life, but it is, from what I can see, a wonderful life. I would love to have it. I just genetically don't. You know what I mean? Both my real dad and stepdad are dead. They passed away. I never had brothers. So, I just don't have a lot of males. But I do have 7 grandsons, and I'm raising them, you know, and they have dads. My grandsons' dads are in their lives. I'm so thankful for these men. So thankful. And I'm good to them and supportive and want to keep them around. You know what I mean? So I'd rather put energy into keeping my son in laws around and raising up my grandsons to be, the men that they need to be than to waste any more of my energy with men who, just sleep around with other women anyway, won't prioritize me anyway. It's just my choice. I accept the rejection. I'm okay with it. When men reject me, um, well, I won't say when, once I accept that men reject me, once I accepted it, that men reject me, um, I feel better. I feel free. I feel like I can be me in ways that I can't be when I'm with a man. When I'm with a man, I feel very, very limited, extremely limited. But now, even though I can't achieve what I would want to have achieved when I was with men, when I was, legally married for 32 years, the stuff that I didn't get to achieve, it's too late for that stuff. And I have to let that go, and that's fine. That was the sacrifice that I made to be with these men. I let my independence go. I let, I was a submissive, stay at home wife type, that traditional type. So that was my foolishness right there. That was foolish because they were not committed to me and they couldn't wait to leave me for somebody else. So I had foolish submission. I was foolishly a stay at home wife and mom, you know? And so I'm suffering the consequences from that now. And maybe that is laughable. I don't know. Laugh. But but I accept the rejection now. I can afford to. I can afford to accept the rejection now. you know. I don't have to struggle with that anymore. And I'm thankful. Rejection is protection. And if people want to laugh at you about it, cool, let them. Whatever. I'm safe. No STDs, no STIs, none of that. Thank the Lord. I made it with my health, my life. I had 5 suicide attempts trying to, endure being treated so bad in life. So now I got through the hardest part of life, legal marriage, raising kids, the hardest part. And so now I can, just deal with me and my kids and grandkids at a level that I can handle. Thank God my daughters are in their 30s. I have 2 natural daughters, and they're in their 30s. One is single, never married, no kids. And the other one is married and has 8. The one daughter has 8 all by herself. So beautiful, beautiful. And I'm glad to be helpful. I can help her. I'm helping with the kids. And it feels so good. I'd rather be doing this than fighting with old men my age. Men in my age in their 50s are still chasing sugar babies. And them sugar babies, I'm telling you, they'll post up on you now. I had to deal with ours. I dealt with ours, and for years, she's not my problem no more. She's still in his life. Even though he married somebody else, he still got the sugar baby. He got his sugar baby and his new white wife. He left me for a white woman. But but yeah, so I don't have to deal with her no more. I dealt with her for what, 7 years or something. It was intense, and she was our daughter's girlfriend. It was, again, I don't want to go through that no more. And there is, a guy or two that I used to talk to from the past. Just chit chat with, nothing sexual, nothing like that. And once they start letting me know that they dipped that low, like one guy my age that I've been, friends with for a long time. And he, not too long ago let me know that he got a 19-year-old sucking his dick. I was like, oh, blocked him. I'm like, I don't even want to talk to him. Nobody my age that's doing that. I don't even want to talk to nobody like that. It don't make no sense. He didn't live a full blown life. Full blown life. Done all kind of stuff. Ran through all kind of women. Got a whole bunch of kids. And you dipping down younger than your own kids? That don't make no sense to me. You're a grandfather now. Come on now. We got to grow up at some point. But that's just me being opinionated. It's legal, so I'm just going to be quiet and stay to myself. You know, I think it's nothing wrong with being friends with young people and advising them and being hopeful, but I just don't think it's appropriate to be having sex with them when you are a full blown adult who didn't lived, you didn't been married, got a bunch of kids, got grandkids, all this kind of stuff, and then go that low. It just I can't understand it. But I'm just one little woman who don't understand. There's a lot of people who get it, understand it, and it's legal and it is what it is. It's just not something I want in my life. And it's best for me to just stop dealing with men at this point because the older I get, you know, I realize the men still stay with young girls. And it's just I already did that. Been there, done that. And I'm done. I just don't want to be bothered. And I know what women my age are like. I already know what they like. So just because I'm one, but I don't want to deal with them young girls. Them and they girlfriends and they other boyfriends and stuff, they wild. They buck wild. They'll try to take over your house, take over your whole life. If you left. So, whew, that's all I got to say, guys. Thanks for listening. I hope I made sense to somebody. If not, then I'm just an old foolish woman, unwanted and evil and ugly and all this kind of stuff I've been told. So, it is what it is. You all have a blessed day. Bye. Oh, yeah. Click like, subscribe, hit that notification bell.